Welcome back to Quiet Money Podcast, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned, we're coming up next. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Quiet Money Podcast, the number one podcast for going through the ups and downs of life. And there's so many of them, and we just keep it real on this show. And I got something to talk about today, but I don't do it by myself. What's up?
I am Randy, the co-host of Quiet Money Podcast.
How are you feeling today, man? Because I'm feeling all different types of ways. I got a lot I want to share, but like, how are you feeling? What's going on since we last recorded? Like, what's up with you today?
I'm feeling pretty hopeful.
Oh, for real? What you hopeful about?
Just over the last few episodes, I've had a lot going on, and
agreed.
And I have given it to God. Okay, we have talked about some things. And then this morning when I went to do my workout with my personal trainer, I have a workout partner. Shout out to Erica. But she gave me something. She gave me a bag, and it was a book and a water bottle.
Oh, that's what's up.
And it was just, it was a thoughtful gift. We're starting a challenge next week. An exercise
you
challenge.
You was talking about that. We're doing it now.
Yeah. We're going to actually do it, and she's going to hold me accountable. And that was very uplifting. And then tomorrow I'm headed to a women's conference. And I know that I need a break and I need a vacation.
Right.
So even though it's a short Thursday to Sunday, I think it's the perfect amount of time for me to reset. So I'm feeling hopeful.
And with your girl. So
yeah.
I feel good about that. I'm happy for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So you're feeling hopeful, you've been inspired, you got a nice little gift. You didn't expect that, right?
Right.
So them little gifts, things that people do could uplift your spirits like that. You didn't expect it. We're in a whole lot. Little water bottle, little, book, but very thoughtful. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that's got you in good spirits,
Yes, thank you.
I hope you enjoy your trip. I'll miss you and all that.
I'm gonna miss you
sure.
too. You gonna be all right?
Be straight. I'm gonna be straight. I got a whole lot on my hands, you know what I mean? And it'd be tough, like I don't always have to do it on my end, but I'm gonna get a little crash course the next couple of days. But as a man, just having to be responsible for a lot of things, it'd be hard sometimes. And I think that's what I've been in that energy lately, of just really, I don't want to say appreciating it, but just like if you decide to do your job and like take care of your family and like try to do something, have a business, work, it'd be a lot on you. You know what I mean? And you get stretched thin sometimes. And I just realized like you can't get too frustrated with it because you want to say no, but you can't say no because there's so many things that need you. And that's a good thing, you know what I mean? But it's hard. And that's just been showing up the last like week or two, like how much I'm needed. You know what I'm saying? And certain spots where I'm not actually showing up as much, where I'm needed. You know what I mean? For example, we ain't got to get into it, but like our youngest son, you know what I mean? I think lately, and for any father, any parent out there, like especially if you got one kid or even multiple kids, like you might realize like, I could be spending more time with them. I could be doing more. And I'm starting to see like, with our youngest, like I could be more impactful. And it's been showing up. I'm learning things. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to doing that. Hopefully it's seen I'm trying to do that more. But
well, I do. I was gonna say I see the shift in you, especially in the evening with the bedtime routine and stuff. I'm like, yes.
Hey, so for anybody that's listening, like let me tell you then, if you're a parent, you know this. And a good takeaway or thing to think about is like there's core hours with your family or your kids or whatever. You got to try to make yourself available. It'd be hard because then core hours are right after you've been working and you want them for yourself. You want to release, relax, whatever you want to call it. But that's when a whole bunch of people or situations need you and you just want to be like, no, I want to pick me. But, that's the time. So I'm just noticing that. So that's
for those who don't know, you might want to just talk about your children, like their ages.
Oh yeah, so I got 4 kids. You know what I mean? When I met Randy, she had a 3-year-old, and that was a blessing in itself. And so she's 19 now. And got a 10-year-old, a 6-year-old, and the baby's image too.
Next month.
Yeah. It's a full house, pets, friends, visitors, you know what I mean? Family members. It's always, and we ain't got the biggest house in the world. So, but we make it work. We make it work, and everybody's pretty close together, and there'll be a lot of situations and all types of stuff.
Yes, we're a close-knit family.
Yeah, for real. But hey, look.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, talking about family today a little bit for, as you go through your life and you're trying to do things and you're trying to push yourself forward, like, it's really good if you do have a little bit of the different things in life, whether it's money, finances, yeah, that's cool. But like, do you have family? Do you have friends? Do you have good experiences? Maybe relationship, religion, like different like components of life is good to have, multiple, be a part of different things, The thing I want to talk about with family today is what came up today. And it's had my mind getting all morning. We can settle this for a minute, but I want you to talk about what happened this morning with 6-year-old, and this is all about the idea of how bad do you want something. I said something to him because of something he did, and I was like, if you really wanted it, you wouldn't have did this. And then I drove off and took him to school, and that like was burning in my head. I'm gonna piece it together. But what did he do this morning where you was like, yo, you don't ask me for no TV this week. Don't ask me, for no fun or nothing. What happened this morning?
I found out he didn't do his homework last night.
Right.
So he had started his homework, pulled it out the folder, and somewhere in the process of me picking up the baby from the babysitter and picking up Christian from soccer practice, Caleb, this is the 6-year-old, was home with his grandmother. So he should have been doing his homework, but instead he was on the phone. So this morning we woke up and I saw that the homework wasn't done. And I let him know that there's not going to be any phone, no TV, no going outside, no privileges for the rest of the week.
That's hard. That's hard for him too. That's real hard for him.
In the past, what I have done is I know he could actually do it real quick. Some of the stuff he could actually do it real quick. So I'd be like, oh no, you haven't done your homework. Let's go ahead and let's get it done real quick. We got 30 minutes before we leave. Let's do what we can. But I didn't do it this morning. I didn't do it.
You didn't do it?
Nah. I said, in my mind, I said, you know what? You're going to feel the consequences.
I was surprised by that, though.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised by that because he did have some time to be able to hand me in something.
Yep.
And what did that a lot of times before. You know what I'm saying? But this morning he was like, nah. I'm not going to do that.
You know why?
Why? Tell me.
Because I seen something yesterday on TikTok that made me think. And it was like, I have to play it for you, but what I got from it is me trying to be the superhero. And sometimes you need to take that cape off. And I was thinking about that this morning. I said, look at me. Remember, I've been talking about being overwhelmed. That would be another thing to add to my plate. I'm going out of town tomorrow. I'm not about to sit here and do this homework with you. I love you. But you had the opportunity to do it last night. You chose the phone.
Hey, you know what? That's real, but that weren't even nothing I was thinking about with this. But I'm so glad you said that. No, listen, because what happened, I'm going to break it down. I want people to think about this in life. I'm going to really make this real. But like, you basically was like, in your view, I don't want to be Superwoman. I don't want to have to come in and save the day. He has to earn his responsibility, right? He made a decision to not do it, and he's going to feel the consequences. Is that fair?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, there's a lot of people listening. The average person will probably be like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, teach them to learn and feel the consequences of their actions and that kind of thing. And that's great. And I'm glad you did that. I hadn't really noticed how much he's at the table in the morning scrambling to get it done until earlier when he was like, we're not going to do that. it made me think like, wow, we kind of do that all the time. It's not like a one-off thing. He's always doing it. So you nip that, right? But what it also makes me think about is, and I don't remember which episode I said it in, one of the earlier episodes, but I was talking about myself and how I used to play FIFA all the time, and how I used to play video games, and how I got to this point of doing well, even though I didn't maximize the effort towards it. But I always had good results. And it had me thinking like, well, even though on your side, you don't want to be Superwoman, are you really saving him?
Right. I'm enabling him.
You're enabling him. And,
because he knows I just do it in the morning.
And if he succeeds, right, what would create him to be the type of person that will push himself and maximize things? He hasn't felt the failure that it should result in. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then maybe I'm not saying it's me, but maybe you could be part of, not doing it, but part of creating this type of person like me. That good, starts going through life where they know that they could just wing it at the end and it'd be really good or pretty good.
Did you see the devastation on his face?
He was shocked.
When I said, if you bring home a bad grade, that's on you. It's your fault.
I know. He didn't like that.
That's when he started crying, like thinking about the actual consequences of his teacher marking something incomplete, bad grade.
That was so real. That the thing is, I know I'm right. You're right, because what he said to us which was what really eye-opening. He was crying. I'm like, why are you crying? He's like, well, I'm going to get like downgraded. I did love that, because I'm like, that means something to him at school to be in this high scoring type system. So he was like, nah, I don't want to be downgraded. You know what I'm saying? So he had to feel that. So that was something I was thinking about, with that. And then the other part of it was what I said when we started the pod, which is the topic that I really want to talk about, which is how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Now, continuing the story, I said something to him, which is true, but I also had to take my own advice and I had to think about it. What he did, which you kind of touched on, was, but I'm going to just say it like direct. He knew what he had to do and he didn't do it. He made a conscious decision to do some, but not all. You know what I mean? Or do none, whatever it was, right? But he knew and he made the decision and did something else. And now he's got to deal with that. And I went to him afterwards and he was like, my scoring to be downgraded. I was like, that's not true. Because if you didn't want it to be downgraded, you would have did your homework. That's my message to him. Like, don't do that. Don't say that. You didn't care enough about the scoring. Because if you did, you would have did your homework. Which is true. But then, think about my own life. Think about my own life. If you're listening, think about your own life. It's easy, and I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm his parent. I'm giving him the right advice. But it's easy, and we do it all the time. It's easy to give somebody else the advice, correct somebody else, tell them what they should be doing, watching them, critiquing them, concluding on them. But then you're doing the exact same thing yourself in your own life, maybe in a different magnitude, in a different way. So I'm like, all right, well, how many things in my life that I could literally sit there and say that about?
How many?
A lot. Not as much as it used to be, though. Because the fitness thing I'm working on, you know what I mean? My money thing I'm working on, family I'm working on, like, there's not as much as it used to be. It used to be way more, but there's some there, for sure. I ain't gonna lie, But I was thinking, like, wow, how bad do I want certain things? And we talked about fitness already. I would say this, you would say this, and pretty much anybody we would ever meet would say this. I don't like liars. I don't like people that lie. Most people don't like liars. But we all liars in some type of way, because in our life we be lying to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We be telling ourselves sometimes we want certain things, but then you gotta really think, how bad do you really want it? You know what I'm saying? How bad do you really want it? Because once you know what it takes to get there, I think at some point you have to just be like, look, do I really want this, or do I really want the things that I do all the time? that stops me from getting this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to realize like he really didn't want his school to be downgraded, but I think in his life, what's also important is he really wants to watch TV. You know what I'm saying? That's important to him. So he wanted both. He weren't about to sacrifice the TV to make sure it was ready. Doesn't mean he didn't want the scoring at all, but he didn't want it enough. I think that's true, but I'm looking at myself and I'm like, well, I do want to have a six pack. I do want it, like for sure. But I don't think I want it bad enough.
Yeah. That's because you straight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm straight. Yeah.
You ain't.
I'm not doing bad.
You've come so far.
Right. So
right.
So what do you mean by that? I'm come so far. Think about that. When you said that, you come so far. So I'm what? Complacent. Comfortable.
You look good.
That's fine. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So I could look in the mirror and say, I'm happy with myself the way I am. And if I got a six pack, cool. If not, no problem. But if I was to sit there and say all the time and lament like, yo, I don't have a six pack, it doesn't really bother me that bad. Because I know what it would take to get it.
Right.
And you don't do it.
You don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it, you know? And I just started thinking like, wow, I want to take some time, look across my life and figure out the things that I really want. And I'm going to make sure I put my energy to that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I need to do that assessment too.
What do you mean? How so?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's just me being real? No,
I'm just... But I feel like everything I do impacts everybody so much. So, like, for business, like, what do I really, really want? For my body, what do I really, really, really want? Because if I'm going to eat clean, guess what? Everybody in this house is going to do it with me. You know, so I think my decisions have a huger impact.
You think so?
I do.
I don't know about that.
I could be wrong.
I think everybody's decisions impact somebody in some type of way. I know you're a mother, you know what I mean? So yours are very pervasive, you know what I mean? You're very active in your family and stuff like that. But every single thing that comes in this house impacts everybody, down to the dog pissing on the floor.
Yeah. Well, it could be just, that's one of the things that I'm feeling that may not even be true.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, everything you do is so impactful. You know, I mean, you have a good point.
I'm just saying.
You have a good point.
So with all that, my point is like, it's all right if everything that you're trying to do doesn't happen, but I got to be honest with myself and I got to take my own advice. You know what I'm saying? And I think like I said, for him, he wanted to do both. It's hard to sacrifice it, and he didn't. Made a mistake, has the consequences for it. Same thing with me, same thing for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it doesn't mean you don't want it, but you don't want it bad enough. And the truth is, somebody might be listening, but that's not true. You could want it, you just can't do it. There's certain things that you just do, no matter what limitation. You find a way to do it, even if it don't cost $1. Whether it's a habit, whether it's something you eat, whether it's something you look at, something you listen to. Like, there's nothing that stops you from getting there. Everybody seems to, for the most part, have at least one thing. You know what I mean? And that's that thing that you have to have. And the hardest part, and I want to get your thought on this, and this is real, like, not just how bad do you want something, but do you, like, have to have it? Because if you have to have something, you treat it different. You know what I'm saying? But it's a necessity. So how do, like, these things we want, like, these dreams we have, like, as you're going, you're trying to, like, we call it a quiet money life. Like, I want to do something big, but it's just for me. Like, all right, well, how do you take the dream of, like, okay, I want it, and then it turns into, like, I have to have it? I feel like that's the hardest part. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to do this. I have to have it. I have to get, like, I'll give you another example. One of the things you feel like you want, but I think that you've had to have, is putting your kids in private Christian school. It's something you wanted to do, but it's also something you probably had to do. You know what I'm saying? Because of what you believe in, what's important to you. And look how things are turning out, the type of people they are. You know what I'm saying? So you found a way to make that happen. All right? Now, you got a business. You want to grow it, but do you have to grow it? Like in your soul, do you feel like I have to grow it? The podcast, something you want to do, but do you feel like I have to get my message out there to everybody? So that they're easy, right? Like,
you want me to respond?
I do.
Yes. So I have to get the message out to everybody, but it feels like I can't get to it.
Talk about that. Why not?
Because I'm.
I know you. I know. But listen, I just want, like, I keep everything real on all types of layers. So we're going through wanting it, having to have it. We talked about people that, whether using my son as an example, where you're knowing what to do, but you settle for a second option because you want both things. Like, I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? But there is somebody out there, and you might be this person where it's like, yo, I know what my calling is. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what my gift is. I know how bad I want it, whatever the case may be. And it means everything to you. And you still can't get to it. You still struggle with it. You still have consistency problems with it. Even with all the want and desire in the world and good thoughts and manifestation. You, for some reason, still are finding blockers to actually showing up for yourself all the time.
Yeah, and
I
wonder.
Want you to talk about yours.
I just wonder if
where you're comfortable at.
Yeah, it's fine. I just wonder if it's me, like the way I process things, the way I see things, or do I really have too many things on my plate? And that's kind of where I am now, just trying to figure out, okay, do you need to take some things off your plate, which I have already done, or is it me? Is it the way that is it my perception? I'm not sure. So.
What do you think?
I think it's a combination of both.
So when I brought this up, I saw something in your face. What was that?
The first word that came to my mind, or the first feeling, was I feel stuck.
What you mean by that? It's all right. Because you won't always be stuck.
Right. And I know that.
And this is real, being very real. And I'm sure not only can you help somebody else get through the same thing as you go through it, but it might be somebody out there listening that's been in your spot already. You know? Mm-hmm. So I feel you when you say you feel stuck, but I want you to go there a little bit and like, this is your dawn part of trying to go up. You're trying to go up, and you're basically saying that you got all the will and purpose and everything in you, and you know how much it means, but you feel like you're stuck. There's some pause there, right?
Yeah, and then I have this lump in my throat because I want to cry just saying it out loud.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Break it down. Couple things. Try to break it down in smaller pieces, like
okay.
Or maybe something. Let's take it a different way. Of a day for Randy. Randy's day. Randy's day. No, listen. Randy's day. Everybody else, we believe as we're going for success, we gotta have days, right? Some days are good, some days are bad. So here's Randy's day. Randy wakes up, and her day is with the idea of being purposeful. I got business work to do. I got my podcast to get to. And during this day, I get to a point where I feel stuck, what's some of the things that remind you or put you in that type of feeling in a day?
Just the never-ending to-do list.
Okay.
Always on the move. Something's always coming up, or I'm always forgetting something. So, for example, a typical day, I get up. My intention is to spend time with the Lord, but sometimes I don't get a chance to do that. Sometimes I go work out. Sometimes I don't. I have to get 3 children out the door. So that means 3 separate lunches. Getting them out the door. Thank you for taking them, because that helps me a lot. And then sitting down, maybe I have quiet time with God, or maybe I'll just get started with my day. My day is running the business, delegating, answering emails, trying to do actual work, and I have a small window. That window is probably 9 to 12, maybe 9 to 1. It depends. Then things come up. Okay, I got to make sure, are the bills paid? Where are we at with our budget? Oh my goodness, the kids got a field trip coming up. Am I supposed to send a lunch? Matter of fact, as I'm talking about this, I have to order the kids lunch, because they have lunch through the school. I have to place the order on Wednesday night in order for it to be ready by Thursday. So it's like all these things that come up. And even on my calendar, I have time blocked out for the podcast. I have time blocked out for Bays in Accounting, where I can just focus on like the actual growing of the business. So by the time I get to those times, maybe I haven't finished my work. Maybe a client needed something, then I'm thinking about what's for dinner because I haven't planned it yet. I feel like, I don't want to say I'm winging it, because I know what I'm doing, but I have to leave here at 2:00 to get the boys from school. Christian got to be home by 4 so we can go to soccer practice. I got to do homework. They both got Google Classroom accounts. So I got to go through, did they do their homework? Oh, matter of fact, let me go look at their grades and see how they're doing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, Christian's at soccer practice. Caleb's here. Maybe he's here with his grandmother. Maybe he's not. I got to go get Kobe. Pick up Kobe from the babysitter. Okay. Then, the emotional stuff too. Like, dang, am I doing everything that I need for him? Should he even be at the babysitter? Maybe he should be home with me. It's like all this stuff. And then I'll question, like, okay, if I haven't gotten to the podcast stuff, or if I haven't gotten to trying to grow the business, I put it off to tomorrow. It's okay. It's going to be here tomorrow. Okay. Well, tomorrow come, it's something else. Or, it's just, I could go on and on about it, but I get to feeling stuck. Mm-hmm. And like I can't make progress because I didn't even get a chance to go to get to the podcast because I was focused on something else, or I had to get this done, or shoot, the kid, somebody left their lunchbox at home, so I got to go to the school. Like, it just seems like distractions, a whole bunch of distractions, and some I can control, some I can't. But I think that's why I feel stuck. Also, and that's just like at a, how you say forest and tree. Mm-hmm. So that's the tree view. But from the forest view, I would say knowing that you have a full-time job, I know that comes with a lot of stress, and I don't want to bring it to you. It's hard to ask for help because you got your own stuff going on. So it's that. It's the successful business that we have that's stressful, because how can I split my focus on the successful business of trying to grow that and the new business, which is Quiet Money Corporation, which I know is my passion. So I feel stuck because do I keep trying to do both? Do we make a decision about both? And I have trouble processing sometimes what to do. So I just do my best.
You want my thoughts on that? Do you?
Yes.
This would be the perfect time to let y'all know that this episode is sponsored by Business Accountant LLC. All right, if y'all got a business out there, you're there sitting there doing your accounting by yourself. You're trying to keep your financials straight. You want to know where the money's going, where it's coming from, where it's going at. Stop doing that stuff by yourself. You know what I mean? You don't even know if you're making money or not. You're not tracking things right. You're just waiting for the IRS or somebody to come check for things and you don't have it. All right. Also, you got to pay taxes, right? We got to pay taxes. Your business got to do it. You got to do it as an individual. Why are you doing that by yourself? Why are you sitting at home playing with the computer, trying to play with your numbers, seeing how much money you could get? That could get you in trouble. All right. You need to go to Business Accounting today. All right. And make sure that your books, your accounting, your taxes, and all that stuff is straight. All right. Certified professionals, the top enrolled IRS agent that is looking over each return. I mean, she's just amazing. Randy, you need to go check her out. Hit up Business Accounting today. You can find them on Instagram. And last but not least, if you're thinking about the future, what am I doing with my business? I want to change things. I want to improve it. I want to build an app. I want to board on some new business line. Like, I need some advice. You can hit up Business Accounting as well. All right. Today, hit them up on Instagram. And right back to you, Randy. How are you feeling again? Let's talk.
I feel like I was just oversharing.
No, you was not.
I wasn't.
You was not.
You weren't like, oh my god.
No, not at all. Because it's real. It's real. That's how you're feeling.
That's
you know
how
what I'm
I'm
saying?
feeling.
You're feeling stuck. Nah, you have to go through that because as people followed our show, I just want the message to understand that it's hard. Don't let nobody tell you anything else. All right. In the business is hard. Trying to do something on your own is hard. Trying to do a podcast, trying to launch a clothing line, anything that you're trying to do in life is challenging, especially when you have other responsibilities with which most of us do. We're also humans. We have limitations. We're not robots. We're not machines. We're going to make mistakes. We have feelings, emotions. It clouds our judgment, clouds our decision making. We go up and down all the time, just like our weight. It's tough out here. All right. So this community here, make sure you subscribe to our Patreon. It's all about people that are succeeding and going on that path gradually or fast, but just being real about the toughness of things. Because yes, you're going to follow us. And you might see that we're out there in Portugal having a good time, eating food that's not full of sugar and freaking well salt. But you might also see us having a tough day. You might also hear Randy talking about the struggle and her feeling stuck, even though she got 2 businesses now and making money, at least in one of them. Hello. You know what I'm saying? But you feel stuck and you're walking through what it's really like for you as a woman in the day with all the things that you have to do. And some of it could be organization. Some of it could be too much on your plate. Some of it could be who you are as a person. Some of it could be what's happening around you. Who cares? You know why it doesn't matter? Because all of that, if you put it as a math equation, everything you said, plus, just equals life.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's got a different equation. No matter what. You might be at home and you're sitting there and you listen to her, well, that's not my situation, but you got a different one. You got something you're trying to do, but hey, maybe you're sitting there, you got a baby daddy that calls you up once a week, still wants to get back and irritates you, put you out your energy. That's a night that you ain't doing your work. Or maybe you're sitting there, got kids on your own, you're raising them by yourself, you're trying to start that nail line, you're trying to, do things on your house, trying to be a virtual mobile nail assistant, but you can't go out tonight because you ain't got no babysitter. Everybody's got something that is challenging for you to make your dreams happen. So you can't just say, I dream it, and then also say, I have to have it, and then also say, I'm a manifester, yes. But there's some tough things that come with it. And there's some perseverance you have to have. And to be honest, there's help that you need. Yours is you try to pray and you go to God a lot. That's like your help. Everybody needs help. Hopefully our community here, Require Money Podcast, will help people as well. But it's tough to go through life. And that's all right. You know what I'm saying? But you're still doing well. That's the thing. Now, I want to also touched on this before, but this is just being real as well. Your feelings of being stuck coming at the time of discovery for us with a new business, a new opportunity, and something that you feel like you should be doing, you have to be doing based on your own mother, your own experiences, but you still feel stuck. That ain't even enough to just say, I'm going to kick the doors down and not be denied. It ain't that. You're still struggling with things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's some fear there.
It is. It is. But why is it intensifying now? You know what I'm saying? Like, why now? If you think about it, why is it happening now? In your opinion. And you may not know, but I would tell anybody else out there, listen, man, when things are happening in your life, sometimes you got to ask yourself, why is this happening? Yes. And that question, you may never have the answer to. But sometimes the why is it happening right now, there's an answer for that. And I really believe that one thing the devil does is try to block your blessings in so many different ways. He tries to block your blessings. That's what he does from the history of time. We're not going to church today, but it's almost like something good was presented and somebody came and said, nah, it's not that good. And that's transitioned through all the time. This is good, but it's not this good. It's not everything. That's the origin of everything. It's like, this is not enough. You have to have this in itself. You know what I'm saying? That's human nature. You know what I'm saying? But right now, we're in a place where you're feeling stuck. It's causing frustration with us sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We think differently. And I just want to know, what do you think you would probably need to do to get out of this right now? You know, because the truth is, while we're stuck, the difference is when we're starting to do something big, it has more impact. But you have two businesses. You still have to keep going with all of these feelings. You still got clients, like you said. You still got work that's got to be done. So what do you think could even help to start to transition, you know, a little bit away from the stuck feeling and you actually feeling like you're moving a little bit the way that you want to go?
I don't have the answer for that.
We gonna pray about that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's why I'm processing it all. I'm being real with myself, understanding how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling that way, looking at the options in front of me, and just taking my time and praying for patience.
So can we check back in on you?
Check back in on me.
We're gonna see how you feel it. So hey, check this out, y'all. There's a couple things that we gotta check back in because Randy right now, she's got a podcast going and everything, which I'm very much enjoying. You know, I didn't ever know I was gonna go into like this with you, but we knew we had a message, and it's so crazy how it just organically just comes out easy. Like, and it's funny because we talk about this stuff all the time in different ways, but it's almost like better now that we started doing this. So I'm glad you shared that with me. I don't know if you would have shared that with me differently, but anyway, we got to check back in on Randy, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Leave a couple comments. If you guys if it's a woman out there that felt like that, drop her a little, you know, double tap or something. Let her know what you did to help with your day similar to what she has. And the thing is, you still make it happen. That's the thing. All those things you talk through, but here's the important part. You get it all done, but there's a residual impact on you. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about somebody who can't do it all.
Right.
You're doing it all. Maybe not optimized the way you want or whatever, but you're doing your show. You're doing your business. You're not losing your clients unless you choose to. I mean, you know. And but at the same time, what you're dealing with is the residual impact on how it's making you feel.
Yeah. I'm tired of operating like this.
Right. And I understand that.
Yeah.
So everybody, man, listen, man. I know some people actually close to me that say this a lot, and it's cool, but don't just look at like, yo, I got stuff I got to do, I got to handle business, I'm going to take care of that. Like that's cool, but while you're taking care of business, you got to take care of yourself. And I'm gonna say that again, when you're taking care of your business and you're doing what you gotta do, you gotta take care of yourself and do what you need for you to be all right. And that's physically, mentally, spiritual, if that's part of your life, and everything. Because you ain't no good to anybody else if you're not good.
Mm-hmm.
And what ends up happening is, even though you're still checking all the boxes and getting all these things done, you're just a human, you're limited, and the way that you feel will start to spew out of you and actually impact how you're doing those things that you do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like no way around it. So you can either confront it, like Randy's doing. Randy's real. She ain't got the answer right now. That's why we got to check back. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, let it out. Let it out. That's what you're doing. Let it out. Put it out on the table. Like, yo, all right. And that's beautiful. I respect you for that.
Well, thank you. I didn't even realize that I was struggling the way that I was struggling until I had my little breakdown over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'll just touch on it real quick. But basically, my sister called me. She was like, you need to call your sister because she's in her feelings about something. Because, you planned your birthday party on a day that she wasn't going to, be out of here. And it wasn't a thought to you. So, it's not a big deal because I could have just changed it and been like, oh, okay, you're right. I wasn't thinking about it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when she said it wasn't a thought to you, that triggered something in me. And I was like, it wasn't a thought to me. It wasn't a thought to me. And then I just started going like, well, and I'm crying too. I'm over here crying, snotting, like all the things.
I walked in, I'm like, what's going on?
Dexter walked in the room like probably 15 minutes after I started breaking down. But I'm like, it's not a thought to me. Do you know all the things I have to think about? and then I started running off all the whole list of all the things I got to think about. Don't nobody ask me about what I'm doing, how I'm doing. Oh, boo, boo, boo. So anyway, after that moment, and I had to break down. My sister's like, okay, just breathe. I appreciate what she said, which was, how can I help you? And it's like, when she said that, I was like, I didn't even know how. But I was so resistant because I'm like, I don't even want to give her anything. And she kept saying, she was like, breathe. I want to know how I can help you. I could cry just thinking about it because I'm like, dang, like, no one really asks me, how can I help you? I don't even know. I would say my mom was probably the last person that would say, I'll be up there and anytime you need me, I'm here, all that. But I don't know when's the last time I heard that. So anyway, I ended up giving her some stuff to help me with. But I'm just saying that because I did not know.
Hey, that's crazy.
That I was feeling so. I just didn't know it was like all bottled up.
I didn't know what it was, but it's weird because when I came in and I saw you, and then I could tell you was talking. You told me you was talking to your sister on the phone and everything. The energy I felt was like, I don't have what you need. Honest, I'm not even gonna lie. I actually picked up on, in this moment, what you need is not me.
Yeah.
I felt that. Not saying you don't need me, but I felt like, so I'm glad that was what it was for you, because I kind of felt like this is not something I have,
Yeah. But once I realized it, I rested. I spent all weekend. That was Saturday morning.
So what have you gotten from that situation then? I know what I got from it, but I want to know what did you get from that whole thing that happened?
It's important to vocalize and talk about how you feel and what you're going through. And when people know, they are willing to help. But they don't, if people don't know you need help, you're not going to get it. They can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that from that situation. And then also just, I need to rest. Like, I have a hard time relaxing. And over the weekend, like, even when I was resting, I kept thinking of things that I should be doing. And then I had to remind myself, okay, no, We're resting. You're resting. It can wait. You're resting. I even carried it over to Monday.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I sure did. But I don't know. Even talking about it, I feel a little embarrassed because I don't even know why.
But I don't think you should do, because here's what I get out of it. And hopefully other people could get this out of it too if they're in situations, right? Everybody's different. But we all go through life together in different ways, and we have challenges in it, right? And some of us communicate a lot. Some of us are aware of how we feel about stuff. Some of us keep it in. Some of us handle the good and bad things that happen in life different ways. And we just keep moving along. That's just a fact. Some stuff happens. We learn things, experience things, and we respond to it a certain type of way, and we keep on going until our day is done. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes this thing shows up where how somebody's been impacted over time explodes. And me and you just had conversations about that. And you like to call me fake and all that, because you're like, you didn't get all cool. I think everything's good. And then all of a sudden you act like it's not cool and you was lying, but that's a whole nother thing. You know what I mean?
We should talk about that.
Yeah, that's a whole, yeah, we can jump on that another day. But my point is, it's similar to, you know, when you're on the road and, you know, somebody, you bump somebody in the back, or they bump you in the back and they get out the car and shoot you. Or you're sitting there in a bar and somebody bumps into you by accident. There's hundreds of people in there, but they so mad they take you outside and shank you up.
Right.
Crazy. It's an aggregation of so many things that has made that person that type of way, where something that shouldn't trigger that type of reaction does. It happens all the time. It's like unresolved problems, unresolved issues, unresolved feelings that aggregate. We are humans, so we are limited in our space for aggregation. All right? We don't have unlimited databases in our hearts and souls like that. Things were on us and they start to show up, you know? Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm going somewhere with this, but I feel like with you, a lot's been going on with you. And something happened to put you in this space where you had to communicate how you really feel. And it was that. Yours wasn't hitting somebody in the back of a car and you're angry about things. Somehow the Lord's looking out for you and gave you this little, to be honest, little minuscule thing with your sister for you to sit down and really share with somebody how you really, really feel. Because what really happened in that situation, in all honesty, is that you didn't think about it. You didn't think about it. And you never said that you did. You actually admitted, like, I didn't think about the fact, you know, you didn't think about it. But that's not what had you crying. It was everything underneath that you already have to think about and be on top of that has you overwhelmed, that your response to something that maybe you should or should not have thought about, that's another thing. It triggered all of that in you. Mm-hmm. And now you're on the podcast today talking about it. I believe that's the Lord helping you through your life and giving you those moments where it's like, all right, you don't want to slow down and you don't want to stop and acknowledge it. All right, here's a little situation for you. Oh, you don't want to, you know, I love you. You don't want to stop drinking. All right, here, you can go crash your car tonight, you know, $7,000, but everything's cool. Like, you know, and he starts knocking. And then the knocking gets louder and louder. And I really think that situation with your sister was a blessing for you to sit down and be like, yo, I am not doing bad, but I'm at my max for real. And I'm not okay, because in all honesty, that type of situation in a normal circumstance is literally like, girl, I'm so busy, my bad. Let's figure this out. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Like, because everybody wants this to work for everyone to be there.
Right.
So what we all love each other. Everybody wants to be there.
Right.
So we still haven't even resolved the actual problem, which is how we gonna get everybody there? Because you want everybody to be there. They want to be there. We do everything together, but it couldn't be received like that because of that trigger. And it was like that wording of you didn't even think of triggered the, dang, I sure got a lot to think of already, you know? And I just think that was great for you because now here you are and you're about to sit here and get unstuck. You can get off pause now.
I hope so.
You are.
I'm feeling hopeful.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm looking to get unstuck.
I'm telling you, man. I'm not a Christian podcast, but like when you're real, man, God be like a puppet master, dog. And he be trying to just little here and there, just trying to. He's the one on top of the forest. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
What he ones in the trees, man. No matter what you think, you're listening to this, you're living life in the trees. No matter what. No matter how smart you are, rich you are, you're living life in the trees because you didn't build the forest, my friend. So you're walking around every day and this way looks good and you go that way. And you think it's some good fruit over here, you go that way. And it's like, oh, it's thorns. I bumped into it. Oh my goodness, I got to go back the other way. Then you go another way that looks even better. And you're like, I know at the end of this is something amazing because as you go along, you see all of these things that get your excitement, get your attention. All right? Maybe you're going through the forest and then all of a sudden it's a big old hole. Somebody's been digging, didn't cover it up. Now you're stuck in the hole. You got to get out so you can continue on your journey. But the point is that everything that's ahead of you, you can't foresee because you're in the trees. And you just know it's a whole bunch of trees in front of you. And some of them you can't see because they're miles away. But you're trying your best. And as you go through this forest in the trees, you meet people. You experience things and you become a quote unquote expert. And you start sharing with other people. Hey, this is how you get around this tree. This is how you get out of this hole. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. But you're all the same because you're still in the tree view. And that's why we have to create communities like this where we keep it real about ups and downs because that allows us to communicate within the trees as we try to get through life as a forest. There's only one person that sees the whole thing. That's why it's tough. You know what I'm saying? That's what life is. Walking through the trees and everything that comes with it. And some people have been a little bit better navigating, maybe some's further ahead, you know, but everybody's in the same forest together. And nobody knows how that tree that's in front of them is going to impact the next person. But they're going to be there. You know what I'm saying? And that's just life. And that's okay. That's real. That's just okay. You know? And y'all think about that when you're at him and you're thinking you control everything, man. You know what I'm saying? You thinking that you got everything under control. Like you think you know everything. Like, you know, you got the way. All right, cool. You probably do in some ways. But whoever you are, there's something in your life that there's somebody else out there that could probably help you with that. That's a little bit better at it. Has a little bit better experience. And without no community, you'll never connect with them. You'll never meet them. You'll never hear anything. Why? Who does that? If you think about it, back to my example, if we were all knowingly making this literal, but if we were all knowingly in this forest together, at the start of the forest, thousands of people, nobody knows what to do. What do you think would happen? People would either try to band together. All right, how are we going to get through this? Or it will be a whole bunch of separate groups thinking that they got the master plan. But everybody will be right at the start planning and trying to figure out the way forward. Because you know that's what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to do. It's okay that you don't know. It's a lot of things I don't know. How am I going to get rid of the loyal layer? How am I going to get rid of the loyal layer? You know
How
what I'm saying?
bad do you want to get?
I know I'm going to get rid of the loyal layer. I'll tell you one thing. Sometimes it's little decisions. My son had a fundraiser with the Krispy Kreme donuts, and I didn't eat one. So that's a little decision right there.
They're still in the house, though.
How many is left?
I hid them from you.
Hey, yo. I'm not going to eat it. It's cool.
I hid them from you. You can't eat them.
You don't think I can find them?
Mm-mm.
You probably put it somewhere weird. Real weird. Where the fact they're going to be like super hard rocks when we find them next time. You know what I mean? Hey, but look, I really appreciate you today. You know what I mean? I know you don't usually like to go super deep, but I know there's a lot on your heart. And as a woman, like it's hard to be a woman for sure. Like, you know what I mean? And I appreciate you sharing that with people. Like,
well, thank you.
What you're going through.
I'm trying to grow.
Hey, you could.
Normally, that's the problem. I be keeping it all in.
Hey, but you know what you should do? You know what you could do? You could just sit back. Here's my business. Based in accounting. Look at me. Look at my clients. Look at me while I'm drinking my mimosas on Sunday morning. You know what I'm saying? Look at me in my podcast room. I'm living life and life is beautiful. You could do that. That's what people do.
Yeah. But you got me on here crying and stuff.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Why not be real with people? There was a time that people were really real with people.
Yeah.
We about to bring that back.
It's right here.
We about to bring that back. You know, we got to bring that back. Let me tell y'all, we're going to bring back through this podcast, even though it's going to get comments, we're going to bring back the whole thing of communicating and not just commenting, yo. We're going to bring that back. Like communicating. How you make friendships, go talk to them. Sit down, have a conversation. Go out and do something. Stop watching. We ain't watching nobody. That's one thing. We ain't watching nobody. We ain't watching you now. What you're doing, where you're eating at, where you're traveling at, unless we want to go there too. We ain't watching you. Because we will celebrate you. Because I love to see people happy. We will always celebrate you. But what's celebrating you to go and maybe experience it ourselves? Because what you ate or what you did look cool. But we're not watching nobody or watching life. Or you can watch life pass you by. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to do that. Anyway, what else you got today? You good?
Mm-hmm.
You good?
I'm good.
I'm enjoying this. And again, if y'all were just listening to our podcast for the first time, make sure you subscribe. Follow us on all platforms that have podcasts, Quiet Money Podcast. Listen to all our earlier episodes. We got tons of content coming. And as we go through this journey of life, it's a beautiful thing. We're going to continue to grow and continue to experience things and have successes and failures and help you guys and share information with you along the way. And nobody knows what the future holds, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But we are sitting here and putting the work in, and we love what we're doing, and we have to do this. 2 followers or 2 million, we have to do this. And I'm glad I'm doing it with you. All right. Why you look at me like that? All right.
Because I needed that. Thank you.
Hey, yo.
I'm glad I'm doing it with you too.
All right. Appreciate that. All right. Hey, yo. Follow us, y'all. Until next time. Peace. Make sure you follow Quiet Money Podcast on all streaming platforms that have podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Leave comments on our videos. Let us know what you're going through. Ups and downs. We want to hear from you. We engage with you. And we'll see you next time. Peace.